All right. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, the producer. Good morning from here. Thank you, our dear viewers. This is Humanist TV Africa. We are here on yet another edition on Humanist TV Africa. Good morning from West Africa. Good morning wherever you are watching from. I remain your good brother, your humanist advocate, Obasi Ikechukwu, bringing to you this morning newspaper review. Stay with me as you know, we review the happenings in Nigeria and the world today. Stay with me. Stay with me. Yes, as I'll be reviewing the happenings so that you will know whether to remain where you are or you have to run away. Yes. Okay. Our headlines today on the first news: Tinubu government deploys soldiers, police orders to disrupt workers' protests, enforcing Imo State flight blacklist at Abuja Airport. Yes, the Nigerian police and soldiers have been deployed by the Nigerian president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to disrupt civil protests. Oh yes, that is what we keep seeing. The police used as the thugs of the ruling party. Yes, you should stop disrupting peaceful protest of the people unless it turns violent. It is only when a protest resort to violence. It's only when a protest turns violent that you resort to peacekeeping, not even to disrupt a civil right, because protest is a civil right. Yes, let's play the video of the disruption. Yes, over to the next news. Over to the next news. Yes. Yes, the video. This is the video of the disrupted public protest of the workers, the labor union. Yes, it was alleged that the government attacked the labor president, so it has resulted to protest. So over to the next news. The next news has it that is actually a good news for journalism. The next news have it that kidnapped Trust TV journalist Ntem Ekpang, 11 others regains freedom. Let me repeat again. Kidnapped Trust TV journalist Ntem Ekpang, 11 others regain freedom. This is coming from Sahara Reporters. I don't know why the freedom of press keeps being violated with impunity. How can you arrest a journalist for doing his rightful duty? In Nigeria, there is freedom of expression guaranteed, freedom of press in the Nigerian constitution, as well as every other African countries. So I wonder why freedom of press will be violated with impunity. Over to the next news. The next news has it that Adamawa farmers cry out over destruction of crops by AK-47 welding herdsmen suspected to be Fulani herdsmen. This is the news we keep getting day by day of the menace of the Fulani herdsmen, of the alleged menace of the Fulani herdsmen. I wonder why the government keep mute about this business. Yes, you are allowed to rear your cattle, to do your cattle business without infringing on people's right to own landed property. You know, these crops you are allegedly destroying belongs to persons who cultivated their land. So it's trespass. It's trespass. You are, you know, you are disrupting someone's peaceful use of land for cultivation of crop purposes. You are also involved in malicious destruction for this. So the government should hearken, should hear the cries of Adamawa farmers and come to their rescue. Okay, the next news we have is a world news from Sahara Reporters. House Republicans subpoena President Biden's son, brother in impeachment probe. This is coming from Sahara Reporters. Over to the next news. Nigerian man shot dead while testing bulletproof charm in Bauchi, police say. Well, let's go back to the studio. This is quite funny. Over to the studio. This is quite funny that people will keep testing charms. In 21st century, we are still having this conversation. Well, in 21st century, we are still having this conversation. This is funny. Okay, let's go over to the next on our news headline. Nigerian policemen, soldiers fight in public. The Nigerian police soldiers fight in public over traffic violation in Ekiti state of Nigeria, Sahara Reporters. You see, it is the people that are meant to obey these laws that quite infringe them. You look at the people that are supposed to obey traffic laws, infringing them, fighting. If the security operatives are fighting, how do you intend to maintain peace and order if the ordinary citizens are fighting? So I don't understand. I think the security operatives, the army and the police needs to be given training, needs to be given personnel management training, need to be given psychological training so that they will understand rules of engagement, that they will understand that a leader must lead by example. You don't enforce traffic rules by also violating traffic rules. In Nigeria, our military operatives, our soldiers, our police don't obey traffic rules. They don't obey traffic rules. So that is the problem we have. They don't obey traffic rules. Okay, in our next news, court restrained Nigerian firm Varoni from using Nollywood star Mercy Johnson's images to promote products. This is coming from Sahara Reporters. Yes, you don't. She has some copyright. She has some trademark over her images. You don't use it without her consent. She can even sue you. There's a copyright law in Nigeria. There is also trademark and design laws of various laws in Nigeria. We have a Copyright Act, the amended Copyright Act, and the Trademarks and Design Act. So you don't infringe on people's rights, copyright, without consulting them. So over to the next news. Trending video of a Togo pastor. This is a funny news. Trending video of a Togo pastor preaching while wearing high heels. This is coming from Daily Times News. A trending video of a Togo pastor preaching while wearing high heels. Wow, this is funny. Yes, I keep telling you, religion is a dramatic stage, a stage for drama. You see all forms of drama. Oh yes. Well, I am not against your cross-dressing. It is your fundamental right to dress in whatever outfit you have. After all, the dresses are just evolution of fashions. It is just a societal indoctrination that chooses the type of clothes we are to wear. Whatever, it is quite funny that this pastor is preaching wearing high heels. This is coming from Daily Times News. Well, over to the next news. Which is making the hotline for today. Hotline news for today. The hotline news is genital theft. Polytechnic lecturer beaten, stripped in Benue. 2 suspects arrested. This is coming from Daily Trust. Let me take the news again. Genital theft. Poly lecturer beaten, stripped in Benue. 2 suspects arrested. This is coming from Daily Trust. We shall return to this news and give analysis of how people think. Why would you think that your penis is disappearing? This is quite funny. Over to the next news. This is world news. This is coming from United Nations. UN accuses Israel, Hamas of committing war crimes. This is Punch newspaper. It says that UN accuses Israel, Hamas of committing war crimes. Yes, we shall be coming back to this news to analyze. And also the viewers, you can tell us what you think, what your opinion is on this report. Yes, on this report coming from UN, United Nations, where Israel and Hamas have been accused of war crimes. Okay, let's go to the next news. On today's newspaper reports, protest against Copper mine. Protest against Copper mine deal turns deadly in Panama as 2 persons got killed. Protest against Copper mine deal turned bloody in Panama as 2 persons got killed. This is coming from CNN World. CNN has reported that a peaceful protest against the Copper mine has turned deadly, has turned bloody as 2 persons are killed. This is coming from CNN World. Okay, let's go over to the next news. Let's go over to the next news. He lied. Let's go over to the next news. Okay, thank you. Thank you. We are right back. Let's go over to analyzing one of the hottest headline, which is UN accuses Israel, Hamas of committing war crimes. This is coming from Punch News. This is coming from Punch News.
By the reports of the high civilian death toll that are coming out of Gaza. He says normally when Secretary General Antonio Guterres says he's disturbed by the reports of the high civilian death toll that are coming out of Gaza. He says normally when he looks at the civilian toll in conflicts all around the world, particularly for children The number of children killed in those conflicts in total is usually in the hundreds. Yet in the past month in Gaza, there's been more than 4,000 children killed, according to the Gaza Ministry of Health, which is part of the Hamas-run government there. Mr. Guterres says that shows there's clearly a problem with the way Israel's conducting its military operations.
There are violations by Hamas when they have human shields. But when one looks at the number of civilians that were killed with the military operations, there is something that is clearly wrong.
His comments come as the UN's High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, visits the Rafah crossing between Egypt and Gaza. There, he said, the lifeline supplying Gazans with essentials like food and water and medicine is incredibly thin. He also said Hamas and Israel have both committed war crimes in this conflict. He said the actions of Hamas in raiding Israeli border communities on October the 7th, killing 1,400 people and kidnapping 240 others, were heinous. But he said Israel's response included collective punishment and forced displacement of Gazans, which are also war crimes. Israel denies committing war crimes. It says its actions are in line with international law, and it says it has to destroy Hamas and other Palestinian militant groups in order to protect itself from future attacks.
Well, thank you for that. For me, I agree with the United Nations. Israel and Hamas have committed war crimes. According to the Rome Statutes of 1601, yes, where it has stated in black and white, you know, that Roman statute was what established International Criminal Court. An International Criminal Court is the court in charge of prosecuting and trying genocide cases and war crimes and also crime against humanity. So under that Roman statute, what Israel and Hamas have succeeded in doing is committing war crimes. Because yes, in as much as you are fighting war for survival, there are some international humanitarian laws that should be respected, which is to ensure you don't kill women and children. Once you kill women and children, it results in war crime. Oh yes, that is why, taking you back to the memory lane, I kick against the UK aiding the Nigerian war crime against the Igbo people. It is not, yes, there's always, if you read conflict resolution very well, if you read conflict studies very well, you understand that humans are agents of conflict. As far as humans exist, there must be conflict. But there are laid down rules to ensure you don't violate humanitarian laws while in conflict, which is ensuring that women and children, pregnant women and children, are not subject to that war, which is what Hamas and Israel has succeeded doing, just like the UK also aided such action in Igbo land in 1967 to 1970, causing the death of women and children as well. You can conflict, though I do not call for conflict. There should be peace. We should ensure that there is peace. But if we cannot survive the peace and conflict ensues, we should ensure that we don't victimize women and their children. Oh yes, so under Roman statutes that established the International Criminal Court, I will agree with UN that Hamas and Israel have succeeded in committing war crimes for targeting women and children. Yes, oh yes. Okay, over to the next hot news about genital theft. About genital theft, we shall go next to the report on genital theft. There is this epidemic of alleged genital thefts always making wave around. Over to the studio. Day by day, people are being accused of disappearing penises. Funny enough, how people will think in this 21st century that someone can through superstitious means disappear your penis. It is quite funny to think that way. Oh yes, let's go back to the studio and analyze this odious belief among our people. A befitting analysis. You don't accuse people of these unfounded claims of penis disappearance. Yes, penis can never disappear by any superstitious or spiritual means. You know, what you call penis disappearance is actually penis shrinkage. What we call in West Africa, Koro syndrome. Koro syndrome. Yes, it has been there for many years. Even in Singapore, even in Asia, there have been alleged cases of penis disappearance until medical research find out that there is no way anybody can use spiritual or superstitious means to cause penis disappearance. That is funny enough. That is so funny that people still have these unfounded beliefs. You know, superstition is making round in our society. Yes, that a lot of persons have lost their lives because of this superstition. You know, in Nigeria, superstition is caused by so many things, so many factors. Religion is the superstructure of superstition. Religion is the superstructure of superstition. Then, you know, some cultural myth. Some cultural myth is also another cause, and also ignorance, lack of education. Actually, most of the people that claim to be educated in our society are not friends of critical thinking. They are not research prone. Yes, as an educated person, you may not know everything. Yes, as a law graduate, you may be ignorant of medicine. But what happens to critical thinking? What happens to questioning before concluding? What happens to research? What makes you a scholar? What makes you educated is your ability to research. And I keep saying it, that a degree without critical thinking is without pedigree. That is what I keep saying. You can quote me anywhere. When you have a degree, when you claim you are educated and you have a degree and you don't subject things to critical thinking and critical analysis, you have no pedigree. Oh yes, that is why day by day, even what baffles me is that even some educated persons, people that claim to be educated, to be graduates, still key into this idea. And if you are educated and you have discovered that there is nothing like penis shrinkage, it is your call to duty to ensure that you educate others. That is what we are doing right here in Humanist TV. There is nothing like people using magic charms to disappear penis. That thing is a medical condition that needs to be treated. Once anybody in your street claims to have a penis disappearance, the next thing you are to do is to report to the police and take the person to a nearby hospital for proper medical checkup. And also, the mental attitude of our health practitioners needs to also change. Some of these health practitioners are also not helping matter at all. If you are not an expert, or if you don't know how to do your work properly, you refer. You don't claim to know what you don't know at the expense of people's freedom, at the expense of people's life. Once you don't know how to operate on a particular patient, refer the person, and stop telling the people that this is spiritual. You are the persons also promoting superstition in Africa. It is only in Africa that you go to a hospital and they will tell you this is beyond health science, this is beyond medical science. I've never heard of that in the 21st century European countries. Oh yes. Okay, let me on this topic read what a columnist Bimbola Adebalo wrote. Bimbola Adelakun of Punch News wrote about these issues of unfounded narrative of Penny's disappearance. She said, in a place like Nigeria, when belief in the occult is rife, such accusations are not to be taken lightly in public places where the alarm is raised. There is always an ignorant bloodthirsty mob waiting to unleash violence. In 2021, at least 12 cases of lynching over stolen penises in the Southwest were reported. Between Nollywood and religious houses, people have been so fed an idea of evil that they imagine that some forms of evil can be destroyed for good. That's the problem. That's the problem. Nollywood and the religious organization, just as I mentioned earlier, are not helping matter at all. You have a situation where Kanayo, Nollywood, the only movie they know how to act is ritual killings. And she's, before I come back to that, and she said that anthropologists have found that phenomenon of stolen penises correlate with economic stress and social anxiety that keep men from evolving through demarcated social stages. This is coming from Abimbola Adelakun. This is from Punch News. So let's go over to a point she raised. She raised a crucial point of how Nollywood and the religious organization have aided this nonchalant claim of unfounded allegation of Penny's disappearance. You know, our Nigerian Nollywood is fond of putting up ritual movies in such a way that it looks real. And these have affected the mentality of our people drastically. That when you try to educate them, that will tell you, even they are in the movies, it is people's experience that they write and put up as movies. So the media industry have destroyed the mental reasoning of our people, have destroyed our people's mentality, that we have this sense of a low mentality. Oh yes, the media is supposed to be an agent of education, but instead of educating the masses, that they have turned our people into superstitious mongers. Oh yes, we have to, I am calling on Nollywood to change their path, to turn a new leaf and showcase movies that we educate the masses, that we bring about moral teachings and law abidingness, and you know, that we make people law abiding, and also teach people science and technology. Write scientific and technological movies, not every day Kanayo, to the extent that he is proud of being called Nanya sacrifice. Oh yes, Nanya's ritual sacrifice. And you are proud of that. What are you teaching the younger generation through this always portraying some unfounded claims in form of movies. Oh yes, how do you do that? So I am calling on Nollywood and other entertainment industries to change their path, to turn a new leaf, because you have done more harm than good by acting all this your blood abracadabra or pastor or putting charm planted in people's houses. All these things promote superstition, and the people are mentally enslaved to your entertainment that whatever you put up there, they take it as reality. Oh yes, and over to the religious bodies, you should end this superstition. A time will come when you will be called upon to explain some of this superstition you spread in the name of religion. I don't know. Are you the first people to practice religion? Religion started, Christianity, for instance, started in Rome. And the people that started this religion have stopped which accusation, have stopped spreading superstition. How many days have you heard reports in 21st century that someone was lynched for alleged penis disappearance in Rome? No way. How many days have you heard such in USA, where the Assemblies of God started? How many times have you heard it in 21st century Scotland? There was a report that the Scottish were even the Scottish Church were even apologizing for aiding witch persecution. It is also the same thing by Anglican Church that originated from England. Why is it that the African religious copycat will not let us rest, will not let people live in peace? They keep spreading superstitions that have caused more harm than good to the people. Why is it that the people, why is it that Father Mbaka, Okunere, and the rest of them keep promoting superstition? Whereas in 21st century, the Roman Church that you are ordained order no longer practice some of these things. Whereas when you fell sick, when you fall sick, you go to oversee. I wonder why Mbaka, when he went on a leave abroad, why he didn't do miracles there? Why didn't heal people there? Why is it that whenever you come to Africa, you corrupt people's mind with your superstition? So I want our people to learn. I want our people to learn. Even yes, over to the main topic. You know, this particular allegation is against a lecturer, a polytechnic lecturer. Oh yes, you can see that this spread of superstition, if you believe in superstition and you spread it and you believe in it, one day it will come to you. No, when I was in school, I hear some lecturers make some commentaries that suggest they believe in some of these unfounded claims. You can see that a colleague of yours have been subjected to victimization because of unfounded claims. To this Mr. Lecturer victimized, if you recover this victimization, you should make it a clarion call to educate people, to research and educate people that penis disappearance is not real. It's not real to the superstitious aspect. Yes, something can make the penis shrink. There's a medical condition that can make the penis shrink, psychological issue, stress, as this lady pointed out, economic stress, poverty. Poverty, depression can bring about a penis shrinkage. And if you research, and if our medical personnel are doing their work by educating the masses, by engaging in public enlightenment, without also submitting to some of this unfounded belief, our society will become a better place. How can you always make unfounded beliefs? Penis shrinkage is what you give an imaginary illusion of being penis disappearance. So I want our people to have a rethink and embrace critical thinking, for it is through critical thinking that our society will become a better place. So say no to Say no to witchcraft accusations. Say no to spreading superstition because it has caused more harm than good. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we shall get your take. We shall get your take on the headlines, and or you can actually drop your comment, your live comment on the TV. Let's get your take on this program. As we come back, we shall conclude the program. If we come back from a short break, we shall conclude the program because it is very, very important that you stop spreading superstition. Well, I love you so much from here. I remain Obasike Chuku, a panelist of Humanist TV Africa, and also a director of Humanist TV Africa. I'm also a director of advocacy, Humanist Advocacy Network. So see you in the next edition. Drop your comments and let me know what you think about the headlines of genital theft. Okay, let me go over to this comment coming from Kato Mukasa. Kato Mukasa is a Ugandan lawyer and one of the panelists. He's greeting me. He said, well done, lawyer Obasi, humanist. Thank you, senior counsel. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate. Yes, we are in this work together. We are in this agitation to make Africa better, to make the world better. Well, if there's any other comment, I can have it. And in the absence of every other comment, thank you, producer Brian. I always remain indebted to you. To the viewers, I thank you. I thank you. You are watching once again Humanist TV Africa, where we are reaching out to humanity, where we shall always debunk mythology, where we shall always debunk superstition and religion and faith and religious and faith-based persecution rampant in Africa. Thank you. Thank you. I shall be right back in the next show. See you in the next show. My viewers, always watch us on Humanist TV Africa on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are. Thank you.
Fallacy. They say my divergent views. Stay with me as I recite the poem titled Agent of the Dark. Now listen. They say I am agent of dark because I worship no skylark. They say I committed heresy because I appeal to no imperial fallacy. They say my divergent views a blasphemy. My delusional kingsmen claim they are Jews, wishing I die in their relative iniquity. They say I'm rebellious for disbelieving the hilarious. They say their skyfather is love, expressing it through flood. But they say my preaching love for humanity is all vanity. They say demons can only be dark, and their angels and gods are white, that dwell in the world apart, flowing in honey and wines. As if there is no honey, no jolly here but the folly of the serpent. They say the imperial almighty savage only those who repent and become men to slaves, who enjoys only after their grave, whose salvation comes from fear of the imperial godfathers that is dear. I can run, but I can't fly, except in the flights. But we cannot exist beyond our death. We only see beyond our deathbed. I am a proud agent of the dark. I live in a dark soil. Mental slavery cannot set me and my beloved Africa apart. Kemet is civilization. Akebulian is bravery. I am Obasi Ikechukwu. See you in the next edition of Poetry Reciter.